Alrighty now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East Chattanooga. As you can see, folks, we have quite literally reached the end of these 3 miles of track donated to us by the Southern Railway. Now what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we do have to turn our locomotive around. Now to turn our locomotive around today, folks, we are going to be using our turntable. Now folks, the turntable here was built back in 1916 by the American Bridge and Iron Company. It was built in Ambridge, Pennsylvania. Now this specific turntable would have been built for the Central of Georgia Railway. Now, the turntable would have operated originally in Macon, Georgia. It only served in Macon for approximately 9 years. You see, in 1925, at only 9 years old, this turntable was becoming inadequate in Macon. Therefore, folks, a brand new turntable would be installed, and this turntable would be relocated. Now, the Central of Georgia would continue to use this turntable up until the 1970s. In the 1970s, folks, they would retire this turntable, and it would be donated to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum. And once we would acquire this turntable, we would move it to this location, and it would receive a $105,000 overhaul. Now, this turntable has been in service in East Chattanooga for the past 41 years. Now folks, our turntable here is 80 feet long and it weighs in at around 80 tons. Now folks, your locomotive today, the 710, it weighs in at around 120 tons. Meaning that in just a few moments, folks, we will be turning approximately 200 tons or 400,000 pounds worth of steel. Now believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but every ounce of this turntable and locomotive back in the day would have been turned by hand. You see, folks, this was originally a hand-powered turntable. It was referred to as an Armstrong table. Now, there would have been a set of poles extending from each corner of our turntable. And it would have then taken at least 4 people to completely turn the table around. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am unfortunately going to have to ask for 4 volunteers. I have 1, thank you. That's a lot of bravery there. I have 2. I have 3. I need 1 more. And I have 4. Well, to the 4 of you that volunteered, we thank you. As stated, you 4 guys are going to be serving as emotional support for your trainman, Matt. Everybody say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Everybody say thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, last time we did this, Matt didn't offer me any volunteers. So therefore, folks, I stole the microphone from him. And now, Matt's going to turn the turntable all by himself. So ladies and gentlemen, say thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
As my buddy Matt here will be turning 200 tons or 400,000 pounds all by himself. Folks, you think he can do it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Those were the best 2 answers I've ever gotten. Sure and maybe. Now don't worry about Matt there, folks. He's not going to throw his back out or anything like that. Instead, he will have the use of a 25 horsepower electric motor. So there's no need to worry about Matt. So folks, what do you think? Are you ready to bring the locomotive on the table?
Yeah.
Alrighty, here it comes.
All right.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the fun part of our demonstration. You get to hear a little bit about your locomotive. Now, your locomotive today is Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis, number 710. Now, folks, the 710 here is a 1950 built Electromotive Division locomotive. It is the oldest operational diesel-electric locomotive in our collection. Now, it was built by the Electromotive Division of General Motors. Yes, folks, that is the exact same General Motors which was responsible for the production of the Corvette, the Cadillac, and the Camaro. They also made locomotives through the Electromotive Division, or commonly referred to in railroading as EMD. The Electromotive Division would produce the 710 here in 1950 in LaGrange, Illinois. But this locomotive here would be delivered to the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway as their locomotive number 710. This locomotive actually had a very short tenure on the Nashville,
There
Chattanooga,
it
and
goes.
St.
It's going
Louis.
around.
You see, it was only operational on the NC Centennial for around 7 years. They only used this locomotive from 1950 up until 1957. You see, on August 11th of 1957, this railroad, the Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railway, would be hostilely taken over by its parent company, the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. Now, folks, this locomotive would become
Woohoo, look
Louisville
at
and
it.
Nashville at number
It's turning
478 in 1957. This locomotive would serve the Louisville and Nashville Railway for only 18 years, from 1957 up until 1975. Now, in 1975, while operating on a heavy freight train, this locomotive was involved in a head-on collision near Birmingham. Now, folks, that head-on collision would pretty much total the 710 year. After its collision, the Louisville and Nashville will sell this locomotive to a scrapyard. The scrapyard was smart. They didn't cut this locomotive up for scrap. Instead, they resold the locomotive. They would resell this locomotive to Amtrak. Amtrak would rebuild it from a 1,500 horsepower locomotive into a 1,750 horsepower GP9. Now, this locomotive does remain a GP9 today. We acquired this locomotive back in 2003, and it's been operational over the past 20 years. Now, folks, we must now line our locomotive up with track number 2, while our train sits on track number 1. Now, that is so we can perform what is known as a runaround. Now, what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that our locomotive will go past our train today and then through a switch. Now, the locomotive will then reverse back through that switch and recouple to the far end of our train. So, folks, well, what's the front is now the back, and vice versa. Now, that will just about conclude our turntable demonstration, folks. How about a quick round of applause for our crew today, as we couldn't have done it without them. Now, that will conclude the turntable demonstration.